Underdog Daily with just one badge, bro. Today, it appears my co-host is on the Swolecast right now. I had no idea. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to run it back and check that out with Mr. Nez takes there. But today's a big day. Today's a big day. We got puck drop. We got MLB playoffs right now. I know a lot of people are buried in the NFL streets right now, but this is truly the greatest time of the year for the multi-sport draft league. We're gonna be jamming some Best Puck Classic at lock here. I heard a little rumor that like 90% for Best Puck Classic was going to be a good fill rate. Well, we're at like 93 right now this morning. Let's get this thing over the hump. I'm going to do my best to jam a bunch of lineups in here. Appreciate everyone accommodating 1 hour early here. I really didn't want to overlap with the Mariners game, and I really wanted to get the puck stuff in while the contest was still up. So yeah. Marco, I'm PP2, but still hit the like. Appreciate you there. Yeah, I did. This is good. This is a big moment for the brand here. Swolecast invite for Nez takes after he told me he had so many things to do today. Unbelievable stuff. Nah, good shit. Good shit. Guys, let's do this. It's gonna be a little bit of a paywall stream kind of vibe where we're gonna keep it fresh and keep it with a whole bunch of drafts, and hopefully we can get you guys in. Just a couple things I wanted to hit off the top. We're gonna do Best Puck Classic. We're gonna do the daily puck slate. Just talk about like a little bit of macros and like what goes into drafting those, and then I'll do a quick rapid fire. The baseball slate's only 2 games there, but I want to hit a couple things off the top that we missed yesterday. Yesterday was kind of a flurry of action because we had to get out in like an hour and a half, and we still ended up going an hour 40 there. But yeah, we had like a hard out for some side stuff to do there, but just had to miss the BR winner somehow yesterday when we did 3 Dog Bowl champions all in the winner's circle, and then we did all the contest shout outs for the community. I don't know who Brontosaurus Flex is, but it is an incredible name on the site here, and we just got to do our due diligence here and give the main BR some love here. It was that Baker Mayfield scroll there with the 17%. Javonte Williams coming in at 81% as some of those other back end running backs got steamed and pushed up. Jamar Chase, wide receiver 2 on the weekend. Igbuka, wide receiver 1 on the weekend. Kind of unfortunate for your boy with his bags, where I just played so much JSN, and he was directionally accurate. He was almost there, but not enough to break the slate when the wide receiver 1 and 2 both come from here. And running back 1, Jonathan Taylor, was a have to have it. And then Jake Ferguson, man, so many tight ends. We talked about it yesterday. So many of those tight ends scored 2 touchdowns over the weekend here. The pairing of a tight end and a running back from the same team, even though we liked the game environment, is not something I would have got to in my hand build. So shout out to Brontosaurus Rex here, because that's a pretty cool way to do things that I basically only did it with Dak as like kind of like onslaught variety. But yeah, thinking outside the box a little bit here, or maybe just jamming the best projected plays. Shout out to Cowboys as well. Long time friend of the show here, always interacting on the X machine there. As you guys can see, he did do it with Dak, and that was the difference between first and second. So very cool stuff. Just shows you again the leverage in scrolling the F down at the quarterback position in particular there. Tate with another top 10. I know Tate's always hanging out in the chat. Our guy Magikarp, a former Dog Bowl qualifier there. PN Burke, if you were in, say what is up. Oh, here we go. Broflex is a reoccurring name in the redacted streets. So the redacted streets are funneling over here. All right. Yeah, Keaton saying that tight end and running back can correlate well in his opinion. You just need a lot of touchdowns, man. That's the problem. Like on our site, you just need that they can correlate pretty well on the redacted site when you're playing PPR. You need 4 touchdowns, and you got 4 touchdowns or whatever, right? So yeah, it can definitely correlate well, but you definitely need 4 touchdowns, which is an outlier. Happy puck day to all. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do the damn thing. I got one last thing I wanted to bring up. If you guys are not part of the Deposit Kingdom Discord, Make sure you are in there because John Boy Beats dropped this banger of a pick'em last night. Got to put the max in for Boostober, 50 into 1,000. Mad shouts to our guy, John Boy Beats. Wanted to hit that one off the top because it still is Boostober there. And then our guy T-Box, man, we talked about him yesterday there. look at this guy, man. Look at how underdog this guy is. Oh, you gotta love it here. But he comes back into the underdog streets and he gets what's that? A runner-up in the big fly and a win in the moonshot there. Shout out to him. Jay Baconator's up here as well. A Davis, and then Dat Mavis with a nice one on a single bullet there. Feed the Freezers hanging out. A1's hanging out. Truly a who's who puck slate there. But yeah, just wanted to give our guy Corey, aka T-Box, some love there before we start the program. All right, let's jump over to the puck stuff. Let's just go right on in and go Best Puck Classic. 93%. We're filling this thing for sure. I think this is Best Puck Classic number. We got 6 more spots. We got 5 more spots. Let's go. Nice. A friends and family lobby, rapid firing here. Yeah, I think this is number 25. I was doing some late night ones after I touched ice last night and was just jamming a couple in here. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. Like, puck is definitely my worst, fantasy sport, my worst analytical sport, despite having, a couple goat horns under my belt. And despite winning, I guess I won. Well, I think I won 2 slates last year. I don't play a ton, but I think I won 2 slates last year and I won the big Zamboni. Puck for me is just fun, enjoyment, additive to the sport. I imagine what puck for me is what a lot of is what a lot of sports are for everybody. But when you do this kind of like full time and you do the show the full time, there are like, prize pools and games you have to take a little bit more seriously that are a little more competitive. And puck is just kind of like my outlet. I love it. Like I love playing it. I love watching it. And I love not being vested in it from a fantasy standpoint at all. So every lineup, every draft I do is just vibes and fun. Yeah, I mean, if you guys want the hard hitting takes there, Fake Moods was on with Davis yesterday. Fake Moods was on with me earlier this off season. Him and DJ Mitchell did a big preview podcast. I guess it was yesterday or the day before. Yeah, really just enjoyable stuff to listen to, kind of walking through the dynamics of what the season could look like. They were citing, I didn't watch all of it, admittedly, just yet, but like they were citing, the NHL has a bunch of graphics on their Twitter feed there that can fast track you to all the movement that took place over the off season. So if you are playing catch up there, yeah, by all means, go do that. Oh, here we go. Nice. Snap filling this bad boy up. Love to see it. El Padrino was in a bunch of them last night. Bar Down Beauty always hanging out. Great screen name. Inthrius is in here. Travioli's in here. Hockey Hooligan is in here. Bates is in here from the Discord. Beretta James is in here. The GOAT, Sam Olsen. Eggers, our renowned stars expert. Cole Anderson, say what up in the chat. Who's RJ Ham? 1692. That's the only screen name I don't recognize. And if you're hanging out in the chat, say what up. We roll the 101 because why wouldn't we? And I think we got to do it. I think we got to take the man who took the pay cut to stay and have a competitive team here to run it back, going to the finals for the 3rd year in a row. Let's take Connor McGoat, aka McJesus, aka Connor McDust, at the 101 here. Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this at hockey last night, that like it kind of is gross that like the best player in the world just took a deal that's like significantly less than Kaprizov, and he is effectively making rotational NBA money. It's kind of gross, but I also respect the hell out of it that he's just like, all right, we got 3 years to figure this out. Let's go. And yeah, hey, we got 3 years to figure this out. We've been to the cup back-to-back times. We got to iron out this goalie situation. They just brought in Connor Ingram. Maybe that's a little depth in it. Maybe they give Picard some more look this year if Skinner doesn't do it early. So like, yeah, let's walk it. Let's run it back. but also I'm not signing that 9-year gonna stay in Edmonton forever stuff in case this breaks poorly. So I respect what he did, man. Like a little bit of a hometown discount on a bridge. And then, hey, if you guys haven't figured it out after that, I'm gone. I need a cup. My legacy is too important to be the Mike Trout of baseball, you know? So I respect it. Yeah, like here that and you know what, Blake? I respect this take so much. Like if he's making 25 mil a year when the new, the new negotiations kick in and the new contracts kick in and the new cap kicks in, the new TV deals kick in. Absolutely, man. All the power to him. I would not fault that in any regard if he ends up going. So, yeah, that'd be pretty good. Uh, Nick, nobody wants to stay in Edmonton longer than necessary. I can attest. I can attest. But that new area that they've built up by the rink and stuff is really cool. Really cool. What do we got here? Dad Mavis, here we go, man. No idea how to puck, but I'm gonna try. Dude, I respect that. I respect that. We'll talk about it when we jump into the daily street. That the parallels between puck and baseball quite similar. Quite similar. Like on the site, NBA and PGA really similar. Football's a little bit of its own beast, but I would say in terms of like correlation patterns and like just understanding in draft dynamics, it's kind of like football as like its own little entity, but is kind of close to hockey and baseball because of positional designation. And then I would say that PGA and hoops with the Superflex, that sort of deal, they align with one another in your ability to scroll throughout player pool and the fact that projections are quite tight at the upper echelon. Like, nobody passes that upper core. So yeah. Oh, we got breaking news on the program. Even when we're trying to talk about puck, we got to talk about football. Joe Flacco to the Bengals. There you go. So the good UW boy that is Jake Browning is actually dust and just throws a billion interceptions. Can Joe Flacco be fun AF with that team? Why not? Why not? Right? There we go. Moods rolling on through. Puck guy through and through. Absolutely, man. Also, we talked about it. I know Best Puck Classic is coming to an end here, but the newsletter for Moods is not. Make sure you guys are checking that stuff out with him. Yeah, let me get the link for you guys right now and drop that one in the chat. We're back up on the clock though. What happened here? The Breadman goes, Rowinski goes. They're gonna give us Husey, huh? All right. Celebrini can just be like fun, but when you start center, I don't really want to start center. We could also scroll and take Bouchard. I mean, he's been slipping a lot in rooms, but let's take Jason Robertson to piss off Eggers because he wants him to come back. And I think Jason Robertson's just a good goal scorer. And then let's take the good Vancouver boy here in Quinn Hughes. Might only have a season or two left of that, but me hopes he does something what Connor McDavid did and does a little bit of a bridge and then goes and joins his brothers if it doesn't work out kind of deal. All right. The Best Puck Manifesto is your 101 starting point on the primary points beehive here, moods.beehive, but we'll drop that one in the chat. Every time we have done puck, I've dropped the updated version in there for everybody. It truly is the manifesto of these games. So if we're drafting Best Puck Classic, that's where you're going to want to start there, guys, with some of the correlation stuff. I was trying my best last night when I was hand drafting and doing a couple of them at a time. To make sure I was getting 3 or 4 stacked on the same team and kind of building out 2 stacks. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely fun scrolls in this contest because at the back end, you're still dealing with, first lines or potentially power play 1 first line guys. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways to go. I think some of the Kraken stuff we were messing around with the other day as back stacks because they're free, but you can get a bunch of line 1 guys. They don't have to be good hockey teams if they get, 30 goals each between Matty Beniers and Jared McCann, who started skating again last week there. Yeah, like I just been messing around with some stuff like that. I did a Washington little 3-man last night in a draft that GA was in with me. I did the Pierre-Luc Dubois protest, who had, he had 30 snipes last year. And he's just free in the last round and still a good young guy there. Ryan Leonard was the breakout star in college and then got the call up for the postseason last year. So like just doing something cheeky like that, it might be crazy thin for a contest like this, but when everybody and their dog is, doing the Anaheim backstack, doing the Sharks backstack over and over again, just being the guy who flips it up a little bit is a little bit of leverage, I guess. Although I do kind of like some of the Anaheim stuff. I did do like, Terry and Carlson and that kind of stuff last night as well when we're messing around. But yeah, one of the things that I did notice a lot of people in the industry talking about was the Minnesota stuff recently, with like Zuccarello going to miss some time here. Yeah, just talking about like, we thought it was going to be Rossi on the first power play. Maybe it's going to be Tarasenko. So I saw people mixing in Tarasenko a little bit as Marco Rossi's ADP has risen. So I think that's kind of an interesting scroll right now. Yeah. Willis, what's good, man? Yeah. In3 is saying Protos' first line now too. Wow. Okay, there we go. So you're getting first liners with 30 goals who were on a really good team last year, who might have, a little bit more upside this year if the minutes on Ovi, take a slight step back. That's my bro science read on the situation there. Also, guys, I don't know. I don't think it's a complete nothing burger that like Sheloffs is starting tonight. We're getting Sheloffs night one for the Pens here after the trade. I don't know, man. People are scrolling to Tristan Jarry in this. He could be a trade candidate. Half that roster could be a trade candidate. I don't know. What's Shelov's ADP at? Be help if I could spell it. Man, 51? Tendy 51? What if he just wins that net and you're taking him as your like third goalie? He had that Calder Cup run last year where the Abbotsford Canucks, aka the Utica Comets, take down the Calder Cup last year with him in net. He had that great run in the postseason 2 years ago when Demko got hurt for the Canucks. I don't know, man. Stranger things have happened than Shelov's winning the net here. So that was one that I was looking at earlier. As Michkov goes there in the fourth round, rightfully so. Another one that a lot of people have been talking about is Flyers PP1 potential here. So like just, people are doing the Konechny stack and this sort of thing. And now Trevor Zegras, my boy, is rising a little bit there. Interesting that nobody takes a defenseman. They're just not overly exciting, and they're all going to rotate in. And Drysdale probably becomes like the PP1 guy, but doesn't do enough outside of that. So it's kind of like boring. But I did take a Sanheim share the other night. I don't know if it's good or not. Just kind of sharing. Yeah, let's see here. Gustafsson's still there. I think I like Sorokin a little bit more than him. I do kind of like getting the Pettersson with Hughes stack, but it's very replicated on this side of the board. I don't know. If you get an Elias Pettersson bounce back season this year, though, how does it not correlate so strongly? So let's take it. I mean, this is a guy who, almost had 40 tucks 1 year, had north of 30, 3 or 4 straight years there. Maybe he gets a bounce back here without JT Miller in the room, who was always screaming at him. And then let's make sure we don't get caught without a Tendy here. I do like Jordan Kyrou from like a scoring standpoint, and I do view him as a little bit of a tier break at the wing, but I don't want to be like scrounging at Tendy. So let's take Sorokin. I like Sorokin. I know Gustafsson had a bunch of shutouts last year and is a good goalie, but most places I've been looking, they got him ranked a little bit lower, but I don't know. I don't know why that might be. Um, this is great. Swish saying, I drafted 2 Best Buck Classics and 2 dailies last night, and I've actually watched maybe 2 NHL games in my life. This is what we got to do, man. This is a fun space. The waters are warm. Once you buy in and you have this little bit of a $15 investment, like I'm not saying you guys got to come out here and be maxis. I'm just saying if you draft like, 1 or 2 Best Buck Classics just to have that little bit of vested interest to then, hey, you know what? The football game is a primetime game on Thursday night that one of the teams, the Jaguars, are losing by 20. All you got to do is just flip the channel over, ESPN, ESPN Plus, whatever you guys got in the States there. Some of these games on TNT, TBS, whatever. Flip it over to the primetime game and enjoy a little puck. Because once you give it a chance, once you just watch how fucking fast it is, how hard hitting it is, how electric some of the dangles, the passes, the sellies, all this stuff can be. Once you just buy in, you get over that mental hurdle. There's this mental hurdle right now. Country music is only about picking and grinning and drinking beer and losing your dog and tailgate. It has that kind of stigma. Puck has that kind of stigma for some reason. Baseball's so boring and slow and it's not blah, blah, blah. It's way faster paced than football is. I mean, hockey is way faster paced than both of them combined. So like, just buy in, man. Just buy in. And there's no better way to do so than just mixing in a draft or two, vibing out with your friends while we're drafted on the program together, and then watching puck drop this evening, right? It's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a really fun night here. I love this. Here we go. Evan saying, I drafted 1 Best Buck Classic team and I live and die with that squad. Absolutely, man. Treat it like it's your home league. Treat it like it's your ESPN home league with your boys, where it's like, hey, man, I got 1 entry in, and if that entry makes a little noise, I'm coming back for 10 next year. That kind of deal, right? Yeah, hockey playoffs are top notch, Jeff. You're 100% right. They're so electric. Unless you're a Penguins fan, don't bother watching this year. From Mr. Pittsburgh 21. Respect it. I mean, dude, we're talking about Seelov's night 1. That's kind of exciting. They got some good puck moving defensemen here. Carlson's always fun. You got Crosby riding off into the sunset, but is still good. Rust and Raquel could score some, 30 tucks each. There's reason to be happy. They might end up trading, Crosby or Malkin or, Letang or something like that, which would be, bittersweet. But, Pens could be fun for a bit. Yeah. Pens about to get the BTA tonight. I love that. I love that. Blake's also saying it's also the best in-person sports experience, bar none. I mean, co-stamp times a million. I think every in-person, I'm a multi-sport drathlete for a reason. Like, we've talked on the program before how, like, I've always said my favorite sport changes like the wind. But okay, let's make this pick here. Wyatt Johnson pairs okay with Robertson, but we're pretty thin at wing right now. I think we just want to jam a couple wings and worry about stacks later. I don't take a ton of Lucas Raymond for whatever reason. I hadn't been. Most guys like to take him with Schneider or with Larkin in this area. Let's just take an unstacked Lucas Raymond and maybe we can find a stack partner later. And then let's take one of our favorite plays from the daily slate tonight. Just power play shooter or extraordinaire. Kevin Fiala, longtime Canucks killer too. Him and Kempe are renowned Oilers killers, especially in the postseason of recent memory. That being said, the Oilers have won both those series. But in years past, man, when I used to have tickets and go to the Nucks games, go to 20, 25 of them a year when I was living downtown. Fiala, when he was on Minnesota, he would come into that barn and he would just score one of the nicest goals against us every effing time we played him. I swear to God, man. Fiala can just shoot the puck. I'm a big Fiala guy. Um, yeah, but I co-sign times a million for Blake. The vast majority of barns, I haven't visited them all, but maybe I've been to, let's call it 10 arenas. The vast majority of barns, there's not a bad seat in them. The seats are steep enough. You don't have to look through people. If you get a little like 20 rows up in the corner or 20 rows up behind the net, and you just never have to turn your head, and you could just watch the whole play develop and whatever. It's such a cool experience. If you're a first timer and you want to get down by the glass and just see truly how big, fast, strong, and how intense every, battle along the boards, every check in the corner is, absolutely, man. That's such a cool experience. Banging on the glass, it is true, man. Like, I got a soft spot in my heart for so many sporting experiences, like going to the ballpark and sitting out in the sun, and it's so aesthetically pleasing. Like, just hearing a golf shot, like the way in which people play golf at like the PGA level, it just sounds different. Like, that's such a great experience. Football, obviously, the raw nature and tailgating of it is very, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I love it all, man. Seeing like NBA players that are, big, fast, and can move and shoot at their size down near the court is truly amazing. It is otherworldly how quick some of these big dudes are. But man, nothing beats puck. I love all of it. I love it all, but nothing beats puck in the barn. Go early, go for warmies. This is a conversation we've had on the program many times. Go for warm-ups, man. You go early, you go for warm-ups, have your pre-drink beer in the barn. Go for warmies, go down by the glass, see the boys snapping around, saucing around. It's just good fucking energy. Interacting with the fans as they're passing it around, flipping pucks over the glass for the kids. It's very cool. Yeah. And here Moods has a great idea too here. Like, go to a college or junior game. Absolutely, man. If you don't have access in your town to an NHL team or something like that, man, go hit up a college game. Go hit up a junior game. You'll be blown away by the energy and how fast and how hard they play. Right? It's great. It's great, man. All right, what do we got here? We got Saros going here. We got Markstrom, Mark. All right. We got a couple more injury things to talk about. Like Jake Batherson's on IR, but it might not be like for long, but I just saw that nugget. Upper body injury, moved to injured reserve. Just a reminder that like IR in hockey isn't necessarily like IR in football. It's not like a mandated amount of games that they have to miss, that sort of deal. But like, just put it on your radar so that one exists. There was a goalie. There was a tendy I was looking at last night. Oh yeah, shout out DJ and Moods for their Buffalo Sabres. UPL moves to injured reserve. So yeah, I don't know. Reevaluated in a week. So not ready for opening night there when we're sifting through the tendies. Who else was there? I don't know. Drop a couple more in the chat so everybody can be on a level playing field. Obviously, we've talked about the Barkov stuff. Just don't draft him. He's undraftable right now. Where'd he go? Did someone draft him? We're on the same team here, guys. Okay, good. Nobody drafted him yet. All right. Nobody draft him. Where's his ADP at now? Did we get rid of him out of the player pool? Okay, no. His ADP's fallen so far that he's not even there. Do not be the person who takes Barkov in this draft. We're all friends and family. We all got our badges. We're all dialed into puck. Do not take Barkov. He's out for the year, basically. He's out for our playable year on the platform. Carter Verhaeghe seems fun. Ricard Raquel, we just talked about how he could get 30 tucks this year at 35 last year. People usually take him only as a stacking partner. Let's just take some dudes we like, okay? I mean, we could take Thomas Harley to do a little bit of that Robertson stack, but we could take Miro later as well. Let's take Carter Verhaeghe. Hopefully he's on PP1. I haven't looked yet at tonight. And then let's take Rickard Rakell. We're going to get some points tonight, guys, with those two. And we're going to be winning this pod after night one. That's the thesis of this team right now. Evergreen reminder, guys, I'm going to drop Daily Face-Off in the chat. There you go. Daily Face-Off there. We're going to talk about it when we walk through our daily slate. But just looking at some of the goalies and some of the line combos. Also, just evergreen reminder, line combos are fluid. They change throughout the year. A lot of smart people, they like to, forecast who could potentially be going on to PP1 on certain teams right now without an injury. Like that's maybe how you get some good scroll the F down values in these games. What defenseman could be the new PP1 D man there. But let's take a look here. All right. So they got Brad Marchand up on the wing here with Verhaeghe and Sam Bennett. Sam Bennett a little bit underpriced in our game right now. Reinhardt obviously goes early. Anton Lundell is a good little scroll right now. I don't know what this little injury caution sign is for, though. Everybody takes Seth Jones, but you can scroll the F down for Ekblad or Forsling. I mean, Forsling's primarily only a PP option. Very interesting stuff. PP1 going with two defensemen and not Carter Verhaeghe this evening by the looks of it. So that's not overly encouraging for the pick we just made there. Don't totally understand that one. Jeff Petrie as the other defenseman. So maybe Forsling is just dust now after having a good postseason 2 years ago there. Obviously before the Seth Jones acquisition. But yeah, this is interesting because I thought Carter Verhaeghe would be here. Ekblad would be off of here. And then Ekblad would be PP2. So I don't know. Things can change, but a lot of fluidity right now with Florida, just given the fact that, they're without Tkachuk and they're without Barkov, right? So interesting stuff. We're probably going to want to star Sam Bennett if he comes back. He does not. Travioli takes him there at 107. So if we wanted to do that little stack, we probably would have had to do it a bit earlier. Oh. What's going on in the chat here, guys? Yeah, love the guys taking Barkov, right? They just fall on that grenade for you. Are you a doctor now? Eggers, I was always a doctor, man. Dr. Underdog, bitch. Let's go. All right. What else is taking place here? Tom Wilson goes. Until goes. A lot of people have mixed opinions on him this year. Neither here nor there. Shea Theodore goes there, which is, good solid pick there. But one guy that I was scrolling for who we were drafting a lot last year is Noah Hannafin. Like nobody's really taken Hannafin. He low-key could be like a guy who, he's probably only going to be PP2. But like people were really excited to draft him last year when Pietrangelo was there. And now Pietrangelo is gone and we've kind of freed up a whole bunch of stuff. He shoots a decent amount. He, 10 tucks all over the place here. 500 fantasy points north of. I mean, if anything ever happened to Shea Theodore there and he vaults into power play 1, he's a pretty good scroll in my estimation. I was definitely interested in that one. I don't know, man. That's just a little bro science, but yeah. As you guys can see, the tendies have ran pretty quick here. So I think we're going to be, I think we're going to want to probably address that. And, we got Anchor Quinn on the blue line here, which is good, but I think we got to add another defenseman here too. And we got two stacking partners in Seth Jones and Miro. So that's good. We're going to take Spencer Knight. revenge game this evening with Florida. He was supposed to be the future there. Has a mental health and rehab stint and this sort of thing, and now coming back here. He's on the up and up. He was one of the top American goaltending prospects in all of hockey outside of Demko in that time frame, right? I think we should stack either Seth Jones or Miro here. Let's do Seth Jones because I've been doing a lot of Miro plus J-Ro. So let's go with that. Jason Robertson plus Miro is fine, but let's do this PP1 Seth Jones with Verhaeghe, which we're not as concerned in season long here. The rising tide lifts all ships, and just kind of like the dynamics of stacking is the score, the game environment stuff, and it's games in a week, and it's rising tide lifts all ships with one team. So we're less concerned about like the hyper niche. Hey, they're going to be playing on the power play together night one. They're not going to be. So we might be concerned about that in our daily slate a little bit more so than here. But in Best Puck Classic, I'm totally fine pairing those two together. They're going to have a ton of overlap as the season goes. Yeah. Brett saying here, amazing puck turnout the last few days. Absolutely. The puck people are showing out right now. This is a good one. Chatter is maybe 5 forwards, PP1 in Vegas. So that makes the Hannafin conversation we were just having a little bit worse there. So, okay. That seems that seems let's take a little look-sees here. What could that look like? Vegas. So I guess everybody was super up on Dorfali, and now people are kind of a little bit down on it because he's banged up. We got Shea Theodore in this iteration, but that can change, obviously. So they got Marner, Hurdle, Eichel, Stone. And then I imagine the overlap is going to be Marner and Eichel on line 1. Right. Okay. And then Barbashev goes to PP2. That was what they were doing last year, I believe. Hannafin's out here, and then Dorfali's here. All right. Interesting. I mean, that's not what you're signing up for when you look at, Pavel's ADP. Where did he just go? 123 there. But you do like the fact that, he's going to be shooting a lot on the power play regardless. You just want it to be power play 1. Okay. What else we got? Forster late. Okay. I mean, we were talking about Flyers backstack defenseman here. Let's see. He's not on there anymore? Where is he? Oh, he's a winger. I thought he was a defenseman. Am I tripping? I thought he was a defenseman for some reason. My bad. Dude, 20 nips, 25 nips. That's kind of cool. Let's see what Flyers are going to be running out here on their power play to start the year. Okay, where are we at? Tyson, 71, good number. That's what your boy wears now. That is what your boy wears most teams now. PP2 with Couturier, Bobby Brink, Cam York. They got 2 defensemen on that one. Drysdale's PP1 there. Zegras, Konecki, Michkov, and Owen Tippett. Okay. I see you working. Will knows a little ball. Okay. That could be fun. We don't have any stacking partner for him yet. This is where you really got to start kind of like planning your draft here. And like, what kind of stacks we can assemble. I haven't really been doing a great job of stacking in this one, guys. We got a little 2-man Florida thing going on and a 2-man Vancouver thing. We could change that if we take Brock Besser here, always playing that bumper role on the power play. There goes Barkov. There goes Barkov. Okay, where are we at? Let's check this out. Let's check this out. Me thinks it's going to be the non-Badger in the middle. Oh, there we go. Oh, man. RJ Ham. Just Google Best Puck Classic one time before drafting a team, my guy. Just Google it one time and this stream will accidentally come up. Oh, pains me. We could double stack things up here. We could take Brock Besser and hope he returns to that 40 goal kind of plateau. And then we could go ahead and we could take Brad Marchand, who, shout out me, won me the Big Zamboni last year as my two differentiating. It was him and Reinhardt that really won that. But yeah, let's add this out in here, because if Brad Marchand's going to be PP1 and kind of have this expanded Barkov role, I thought it was probably a bad pick at ADP a month ago, and now I think it's probably fine. So Verhaeghe, Marchand, and Seth Jones, maybe there's a little bit of overlap in the line combos, maybe not. Maybe they all play PP1 for the first 3 months of the season like I think they should, but not a given. We'll see. Most of the Edmonton stuff goes early, but let's tap in here just to see. I mean, you could take the Nuge. We already got 7 wingers here. Kind of a funky build thus far. 2-7-2-2, where we did Anchor McDavid, Anchor Hughes, Anchor Sorokin. And now we're kind of like patching in the other positions, and then we really aped in winger for that middle tier. Not bad. I would say it's cromulent. Maybe a little understacked here. Jake DeHammer late? Yeah. Let's see. I mean, Jake DeBrusk, I've taken him once or twice now. Where's Jake DeBrusk at? I mean, we're talking about a goal. These years with Boston, obviously, 25, 27, 28. They trade for him in that, like, he got injured halfway through that year there. But, 500 fantasy points kind of there. He could get hot with them. I have said on the program before that the goals of last year were a little bit artificially inflated because of how much PP time, him and Pius Suter and those guys got down the stretch last year. Like, I thought Pius Suter's stats were artificially inflated for sure. But if you guys take a look at this roster, I mean, it's not very deep in terms of scoring. And like, if Kiefer Sherwood's going to go, obviously, like, setting NHL records in hits and stuff by a forward. But if Kiefer Sherwood's going to be going in drafts, Jake DeBrusk should be going in drafts. I'd rather have DeBrusk than Sherwood, I think. Yeah. I mean, Evander Kane on the power play with them now. A little bit of sandpaper between Kane and DeBrusk. That's kind of fun. Yeah. Filipino, hopefully he can stay healthy for a full year. Connor Garland, I've never been a huge fan of. Lakrmaki scored 2 goals in the last preseason tune-up game against Edmonton. He's kind of like number 1 prospect for the Canucks. Lakrmaki here. I mean, he could definitely be, I don't know, do his best Niels Hoglander impression. He could definitely be a 30-goal potential guy. Did Zeev make the team? Did Zeev make the team for Minnesota here? There were murmurings that he wasn't going to make the team. Someone tell me if he made the team. Ooh, that's fun. Taking a scroll the F down, Casper. Casper and Sandin. Let's see. Casper just went. Damn. Damn. All right, we're back up on the clock here. It's time to address this goaltending situation. I think either of these guys are fine, but I want to have some fun, man. I want to be the guy who scores all the points on night one. Here's your scroll the F down. Artur Silovs has been really good in isolated stints in both the AHL and the NHL. He steals the net from good Ladner BC boy Tristan Jarry. He steals the net from him. What do you guys think about that? All right, our guy Moods is in the chat. Hot tip to our guy Moods here. And we're scrolling down to Brent Clark. It wasn't the year last year, but this is the year. This is the year he gets some PP1 run and stacks up with our Kevin Fiala stuff. There it is. There it is. Steve's top 4 right now, says Marco, with Brodin getting hurt. Wow. Wow. Crazy. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. What do we got here? Jack Reeves could have some huge upside late too. I like that shout. Steal that net from Elvis. What the Blue Jackets looking like? Elvis goes after, and they're both getting drafted. Jets jumped him in terms of ADP now. Interesting. Boone Jenner's a fun little scroll. I know he's a bit older. It's kind of like the Jamie Benn thesis, the Matt Duchene thesis, you know, like a little bit of power play stuff, a little bit of goals, a little bit of everything if he stays healthy. Where's the Cheds? Ryan Dantno, that's a fun pick. Do you have Connor Bedard to go alongside it, Bates? He does not, but just a fun scroll. One we'll talk about in a half second for the daily game. Yeah, starting tonight, man. Crazy stuff. Willis asking where Silas played last year. My guy, he was untouchable in the AHL. He played for the Abbotsford Canucks last year. What do we got here? Let's tap in. Let me look him up. Let's look him up. They won the Calder last year. And let's see. He played 24 games in the playoffs with a 2.01. Nasty. Five playoff shutouts. 5 playoff shutouts. Holy shit. Wow. Couple apples too. Chiseling a couple apples. Love to see it. When the lights are the brightest, he steps up, huh? He only played 21 games because he was hurt for a bit in the regular season there. He plays 21 games. No shutouts. Plays 24 in the postseason. 5 shutouts. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Inthrius scrolls down to Protoss there. I love that. I love that. Coronado feels fine too. This is the first name that I'm like, yo, Hockey Hooligan. I know Hockey Hooligan has some affiliation with the Blues. I believe Hockey Hooligan's favorite team is, in fact, the Blues. How do you say this? Nuggerud. Nuggerud. Is the S silent? My wife rejected the Jamie Benn thesis. Fuck yeah. Oh, that's so good. Rude. 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 My guys got it. Rude. All right. My puck guys are all over me. They know what's up. Oh shit, guys, our last pick. It has to be a center. Oh, dude, this is easy. Lundell for like the super Florida stack. And we get a little bit of PP2 correlation. We get a little bit of line 2 correlation. And then maybe they all end up on power play 1 at some point in time. Fucking easy game. Easy game. We could do the Anze Kopitar Swan song where he rides off into the sunset with Kevin Fiala. But nah. Let's do it. Antoine Lundell, let's go. Fun draft, guys. Fun draft. Do we think Jonathan Taves could matter this year? He just took 3 years off. I'm shocked, man. He's got all those incentives in his contract. I mean, he wasn't a huge like fantasy producer when he was. This is less for our game and more for just like talking puck. Like, do you guys think he could matter this year? I don't really see it. But like, I'm not going to bet against a dude like him. I'm not going to bet against a dude like him just finding ways to be effective. You know, kind of like the Ryan O'Reilly, aka Ryan O'Nails stuff. Just does a little bit of everything. Plays good two-way center. Wins face-offs. That kind of shit. Like good, usable, real-life third liner. No on Taves. No on Taves. Yeah. GG's. Nice. I did deep dive on a bit. Shocking development. Okay, let's see what Jimmy. Going to play with Thomas all year. All right. Marco's on it. Going to play with Thomas all year. Let's check out the Blues for a hot second. What do you guys think? I mean, we could do. I'm not going to go full deep dive. The Morning Puck guys, I haven't watched it yet, but I'm sure they'd already have their show up and did a full deep dive on the puck slate for the daily slate. I will give my 2 cents and I will draft some teams, but I think we got time to rip one more Best Puck Classic. Do we not? Do we not? Let's see if we can fill one more Best Puck Classic here. That was draft number 25 for me. Here comes draft number 26. 3 more spots. 3 more spots as we look at the St. Louis Blues. All right, here we go. Pius Suter is going to play with Kyrou and Dylan Holloway to start. Huh. Okay. Dude, this team's kind of nice. Like, this team's kind of, like, deep with it. Like, I like Braden Shen and Jake Neighbors. Like, I like them just as, like, hockey players. You know, obviously, like Thomas. Bush Davis is, like, a guy that we always, like, play in the dailies for, like, correlation and somehow, like, you know, just as, like, a scroll that matters sometimes. There's our big Jimmy Snuggerud. Tried my best. And then, yeah, man. This team's kind of fun. Blue line's kind of thin. You know, like a little bit of an aging Justin Falk, who's still okay. Colton Parenko, that he's a good player. Cam Fowler, he flashes and has his moments. Interesting that Cam Fowler is going to be PP1 and Big Jimmy's on PP1. Man, Big Jim. Big Jim. Okay. All right, here we go. We are in another one here. Ron Stewart, renowned football guy, jumping into the puck streets. Love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Shout out to Eagles. Eagles is hanging out here. Love to see it. Sam Olsen, the GOAT's in here. Eggers is back in. Eggers, absolute coward, not a man of his word, as Bates is saying. No conviction in his plays to not take Mikko Rantanen with the 1-0-1. Zero conviction, zero stones from our guy Eggers. Me and the Blues. Kind of deep with it. Nice. Willis said he was done, but fuck it. Now he's in the overflow. Love to see it. Love to see it. Evan saying, with someone who doesn't want to go crazy on NHL dailies, the 2 entry max contest is beautiful. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. My favorite contests that have ever existed on the site are the $25 dailies that are like 3, 2, 5 max. Those are undoubtedly my favorite contests. If we had those that were hundreds every night, be nasty with it. Okay, I don't think I've taken a single Makar yet. And I don't know why. He's so sick. He's going to get like 25 plus tucks. He's going to score all the fantasy points. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Let's just take like the best and or second best defenseman in all the world. Why not? Let's have a little fun. I don't know. I think it's just like a mental hurdle of like, hey, we only take 3 D-men. It kind of feels like taking a tight end in the first round. Like it kind of feels like taking Brock Bowers, And it's like, what? Why am I taking Brock Bowers in the first round, man? Man, I don't know. I guess. Obviously, we really wanted Rantanen to come back. It does not work out. Rantanen plus Kachuk is a fun start there. I think we take... This is a fun start, man. We're talking in the chat how John's all horned up right now. John's all horned up for puck. Deep with it. Nasty with it. I'm just talking puck guy out here. If we're all horned up like this, why don't we just add Lil Jizzy to the roster? Lil Jizzy for the horned up team of the century here. Let's get it. Let's get it. 2026 Olympic MVP, Cale Makar. I won't say no. I will not say no. Will not say no to that. I like it. I like it. There you go. Willis is on the same train as me. He has 0 of them so far and just took a share of them. I don't know, man. Like I love him. He's an amazing hockey player. He plays 1 billion minutes a night. If you were building a franchise right now, like let's go hockey. Let's go hockey bro locker room talk for a second and not go fantasy mindseted for a half minute. If you were building a team today, he has to be in the top 3, maybe top 4 pieces to build around, right? I mean, let's see here. Still only 26. I mean, back-to-back 90-point years, 77 games, 60 games, 77, 80 games. I mean, he does it all, man. He does it all out there. I'd like to see maybe what he looks like on a team not with McKinnon and like all that speed, all that upside, the 2-man game that they have going. I don't know. Maybe do you want to say like he's a little bit of a goals and assist merchant because he plays so much with McKinnon? I don't think it's fair to say, but I could see the argument. I mean, we're nitpicking with like the best D man on earth, but like in terms of building a team, you're building a franchise. Okay, here you go. Nick's saying his numbers away from McKinnon aren't fantastic. All right, so maybe we are onto something here. But I do think this is true as well. Brett saying if Lacombe gets 9 million AAV, Makar's going to get 30. I mean, I do think Makar, after we've now had the McDavid contract and seeing him take that discount and bridge and whatever, if Makar wants to leave, I do think he should be the highest paid player. You know, like he's worth it. I do agree with that thesis, I think. But also, like mobile, puck moving, scoring defensemen are not necessarily the archetype of guys you want to give the bag to when they get a bit older and they lose a step. Now, I don't think he's anywhere close to a bit older and losing a step because when he gets the bag, he's going to be 27 or 28. I think he's 26 right now. So, like, I'm not going fully down that bridge, like, not going down that. But, man, he's got to be one that you would build around. Okay, let's get back to some of that stuff in the chat in a second here. We got to come up with a cromulent and intelligent plan here. We're going to have the Jasper Bratt decision if we want to do the little stack on this side of the board. I do think it's like replicated a ton, but I don't necessarily see anything wrong with that because it does, you know, if Jack has a career year and finally like, you know, stays fully healthy, it probably does coincide with Jasper Bratt scoring 35. Only 21 last year. He shoots a lot. Let's get it. Let's get it. This is another thing about taking Makar here is I do really like the tier break of Dowling and Yossi that come back to you. So when you start wing on the right-hand side of the board, and then you get one of those guys to come back to you, it feels good, man. Feels good. Mackenzie Blackwood, obviously not starting this evening, not traveling with the team either was the nugget here that I was reading. I don't know. We'll see which wood is better. Man, the sex jokes are off the charts today. We'll see which wood is better, the black wood or the wedge wood. Starting this evening here. Goal Caulfield is super fun. Kempe is super fun. Let's leave the light on for Kempe Fiala, and let's take Kempe here. If you take Goal Caulfield here, you know, Suzuki rarely comes back. Then you got to do the Lane Hudson thing, and I don't know. I think Lane Hudson's a really good player. I think he's really nice with it. I think there's a non-zero chance Noah Dobson matters more than we're giving credit. Although Noah Dobson's ADP is quite high as well. But we'll see. Goal Caulfield, baby. All right. Although assuming health for real hockey, Barkov would be up there. Yeah, the knock on Barkov, like obviously Barkov, you know, captain, good leader, amazing two-way player. He can be PP1, he can be penalty kill one, he can win face-offs. He's a point per game kind of guy. You know, the problem with that narrative though is like he's not a huge outlier in terms of scoring or speed. And you don't really want to build around the age 30 guy when you can build around an age 25 guy, right? Like who of the younger generation can you build around, right? Like from an age standpoint, I guess he's the same age as McKinnon. How old's McDavid now? McDavid's 28 now. Yeah, interesting. I mean, Barkov's not that much older. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I think like I would take obviously. I think the obvious ones are the first three guys that get drafted. You know, McKinnon, McDavid, Matthews, and maybe the argument can be made that Matthews doesn't deserve that same level of respect for like building a franchise around because he's just like a power play scorer and he's just a shooter. He's okay outside of that, but like he's more of like just a scorer, right? Yeah, man. I don't know. I think Makar has a very strong case for that upper echelon. Like, would you rather build your team around the Kirill Kaprizov deal or build it around what Makar's next deal will be? I don't know. I think that's like a pretty fun organizational, like, you know, you're playing the old simulated baseball game, you know, just doing the redrafts and then simming the season on MVP Baseball 05. You know, you're doing the draft and then you simulate the season kind of vibe. If you were doing that on like the NHL 2025, Kirill for sure, unbiased take from the Wild fan. Dusty Yank. Wonder if the NHLPA sent a strongly worded letter to McDusty after the contract. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I get the thesis and I understand why you're saying that. Yeah. We get Kyrou to come back here, which is just a guy that we wanted to draft on the left side of the board previously, and now we have the opportunity to do so. We could take DeBrincat. We could take our first goalie because I don't think we want to leave here without a goalie in the next couple picks. I like Kyrou. I'm kind of sad that he's not playing with Thomas when we looked at those lines. But yeah, let's take him. Let's take him. If we want to do the Kempe plus Fiala thing, we might have to do it now. Does Fiala come back in this slappy ass room to 82? People love clicking Fiala. Love it, let it go, and see what happens, right? Don't force the stack. All right. What do we think? Bounce back year for Saros? Aiden Hill just being Aiden Hill and the Knights being good, or Darcy Kemper and LA is better than most people think? Let's do Saros. Once upon a time, Saros was like renowned as, hey, this guy's like the best goalie in the world potentially. He won a Vezina, right? I think so. Tight end and the QB in the first 5 rounds, sloppy time. It's a good comp. It's a good comp. That's effectively what we did with the Makar there and the Saros. Good comp. I like Kitty saying Saros is only 32. Only 30 as well. Not 32. 30 years old. That's pretty good. Naked Wyatt Johnson, 15 picks ahead of ADP. Where's that at? There we go. Ron Stewart is cooking. Ron Stewart is cooking. He knows Wyatt Johnson ain't coming back to this side of the board. Love to see it, Ron. Love to see it. We'll be close, but don't think he's coming back. All right, we'll see. We'll see. Been around so long you thought Saros was older? Yeah, me too, actually. Me too. All right, Cole's saying, here we go. Bounds rolling through with the lunch update. And he goes, this is bullshit. Can't afford lunch today. Kareem Hunt stole all his money. Well, my friend, you should have been playing alongside in a skill-based game of Pick'em Entry Challenge with John Boy Beats last night in the Discord because I got all the lunch money thanks to John Boy Beats. Actually, we got a break in the action for a half second. Let's take a look at that Sunday times Monday. I got 13 of them in. I won $29. I actually thought I had a really good sweat. Was it this lineup? The Trevor Lawrence falling into the end zone really flipped the slate. Yeah, this one never had a chance because of the Khalil Shakir one. It was this lineup that was basically the nuts coming into the evening and just needed no wide receiver. Oh, no. It wasn't this one because you needed Diggs. Where's the Diggs one? This one is what we were cheering for. We needed Pacheco as well. It was Pacheco versus Hunt. That's what we needed. And then we needed Kelsey to stay down. I thought I had a legit chance at one point. And then I was watching baseball last night, though. I wasn't watching a ton of this. Go U 22. DeGrew? No idea how to say this. Just a bunch of initials. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence with the rushing touchdown. The rushing touchdowns. Just didn't know he had it in his bag. And also had one knocked out at the goal line. Puts up 27 points. Highest scoring quarterback on the slate. On a slate that featured Drake May, Mahomes, and Allen. And then Ramondre Stevenson outscores all of us slappies who wanted to scroll. Kareem Hunt outscores all the Chiefs running backs, which Nez told us was going to happen. Brian Thomas with that big catch at the end that helped us win that pick'em was huge. And then Kelsey finding the end zone once, twice, something like that. Once, I guess. But scored more than Dalton Kincaid to flip it. All right. Let's keep cooking in the chat here. I bet he doesn't even know who Wyatt is. Oh man, Eggers is tilting that he doesn't get his boy. He stacked it up with Rantanen. It wasn't Naked Wyatt. For the record, Ron knows what he's doing. He's stacking Aho with Natchez too. Okay. Robert Thomas has to find his way back to Kyrou at some point, right? I guess not. Let's take Konecny. Bit of an ADP fall here. We like some of the Philadelphia backstack options. Eggers takes Fiala at 72 to shove it down our throats. But Travis Konecny comes all the way back. Good Canadian kid. Fun hockey player. Fun hockey player. Not my archetype of player, but fun hockey player. All right, here we go. Only question. What NHL player would be the Taysom Hill? Oh, man. So we need kind of like a jack of all trades who's also nails, who's also a little bit older, who's also a fan favorite. I mean, that is screaming. That's screaming Jamie Benn and Ryan O'Neill's to me. I mean, those are my guys out here. That is screaming those guys to me. I mean, Tom Wilson has a little bit of that in him. But people don't really like him like that. And he's not a captain. Or he's not the captain. Let's take Markstrom. We already got a little bit of a New Jersey bet going on. I don't usually correlate the goalies because something we'll talk about in the daily streets is it's not as clean as like wins for starting pitchers where like the team pops off. You kind of want your goalie to get shelled. Like you want him to face like 30 shots and stand on his head in terms of fantasy output. I mean, wins and shutouts are nice, but like they're much less projectable than like shot volume, and correlating with your own team is, fine that you might get a little bit of a win bonus, but usually if Bratt and Hughes are scoring a bunch of goals, the puck is not being shot on Markstrom all that much. Now, certain game environments that are like pace up and back and forth can flip that narrative, but generally speaking, I'm kind of an uncorrelated goalie guy. I'm also kind of a goalie doesn't matter guy. But yeah. Jets is asking in the chat, doing 30 BR drafts, best strategy to win, identify 4 to 6 top quarterbacks and diversify lineups to win. Or Jets, I there's a lot of people in this community that have been winning a lot of money with a certain program known as the Underdog DFS Masterclass, and methinks it directly addresses your concerns here. I think it definitely addresses some of those. Where did he post it in the Discord? He posted it in the chat that shall not be named. Shall not be named. That's where he posted it. 29 bucks, 4 best puck classics. Thanks to our guy. Love to see it. Love to see it. Main slate's the worst slate in America. You think we can game of skill pick'ems? Watching the winter circle last night. Had to play golf during the day. Love to see it. Take advantage of the weather while we have it. Jamie Nails. Ooh, Brett Burns is a good answer. Nice answer from Bates on the Taysom Hill question. So Brett Burns is a good one because he used to be a forward. Then he became a D-man. Then he's missing all his teeth. He's got this big ass beard. He's like a PP1 defenseman, but he's also kind of nails. Now he's like a journeyman career guy. He's going to be on Colorado this year, right? Colorado? I'm not misremembering. Colorado. He's going to be like second or third D pairing there. Chasing a cup. I like that answer. He also he wears like a funky number. Like he always wears like, what's that? What? I guess he used to be a single digit number, but I think he's going to be like something like 82 or something this year. I think I saw that. He's going to be like a prototypical like forward number. Here, I'll pull it up. Let's see. Yeah, 84. They still have Taves. Oh, they have 2 defensemen on the second unit there. So that'll be interesting for this evening's game. Like if you fade the Makar stuff at the top. Sorry, I had to sneeze. If you play Taves or if you play Burns. I think Taves will play way more minutes and be like a higher across the board guy, but you could get a couple apples on power play 2 from Brent Burns. Pair him with like Landeskog or something. It's not crazy. Brent Burns is a really good answer to the question. Jamie Nails. Ryan Reeves? No. Can't be like one trick pony like fighter guy. All right, guys, we got a 1-4-1 brewing here. We got a little bit of that New Jersey stack with Hughes and Bratt. Then we got the Kempe one, Kyrou. We could do some back stacking with Travis Konecny. We got Cale Makar. We got 2 Tendies already. I think we fade Tendy here. We leave Thomas Harley for Ron Stewart because we're nice guys. Dude, let's take Dougie H, man. What if Dougie Hamilton, what if Luke Hughes doesn't take power play 1 and they just go, hey, man, it's still Dougie Hamilton. Dougie Hamilton's a good power play contributor. He's going to play a shit ton of minutes and he's going to be PP1 all season. Like what if that narrative happens, What if that happens? I don't think that's crazy. Dougie Hamilton is 32 years old. Yeah, he's only played 84 games in the last 2 years. I don't know. Maybe Dougie Hamilton's a little overrated. Hmm. Maybe we're just chasing that one outlier season that he had. I remembered him being a little bit better than what I'm seeing right here. Let's take Sam Bennett because he's fucking nails and he's fun. Let's go. People forget that Sam Bennett couldn't even do a pull up at the NHL Combine and was still drafted. Was he first overall that year? When was he drafted? First overall? Third overall by Calgary? Couldn't even do a pull up, and he was drafted fourth overall. Ekblad, Reinhart, Draisaitl, Sam Bennett. Yeah. Wow, William Nylander went 8th after the Canucks had already taken Jake Virtanen. Oh, gross. What a bad draft. I mean, good draft in general. Bad draft by the Canucks. But yeah. Yeah, Sam Bennett was an interesting guy, man. Because that he when he was coming up, it was like, oh man, this guy's gonna be like, he's gonna be a 100-point guy, you know? Like when he was with Kingston, like he was like a 100-point guy in the and then yeah, he just wasn't that dude. And then he was like a fringe NHLer when he fell out of favor. And then he was like, hurt and stuff like that. And then he kind of reinvented himself to be a little bit sandpaper. He grew out the beard and he just became like, he became tough, man. And he became like, hey, I'm going to reinvent my game, be a two-way guy, win in our own end kind of deal and get a little sandpaper to my game and fight guys in front of the net. And it worked, man. He reinvented himself. 28 goals, 16 goals, 20 goals, 25 goals. It's pretty good, man. Oh. Yeah, the Dougie Hamilton depends on the Luke Hughes take. Yeah. I don't know, man. I remember Dougie Hamilton being better. Like, okay, let's hockey DBM or something. Okay. Dougie Hamilton. So he has these couple nice years with the Bruins, then moves on to the Flames and kind of like really breaks out. He's just like pretty steady, man. Like he's steady. He's all contributing. But he's like realistic. He's like a 40 to 50 point guy on a second pairing. And then all of a sudden, this New Jersey outlier year where he stays healthy, plays all 82 for the first time in 4 years. He scores 22, which is a career high. 52 assists is a career high. 74 points is a career high. He's a plus 23 on the season, which is rock solid. And then, yeah, I don't know, man. We've just been chasing that dragon ever since. And now they just signed Jack Hughes' brother to like whatever, an 8-year deal, 9-year deal. Basically the same as like the Jake Lacombe deal. And now we expect Dougie Hamilton to still retain PP1 and go back to like 70-point form because the team is good. I don't know. Maybe that was a bad pick. Owen Tippett would make a lot of sense on this team. A lot of people were forecasting an Owen Tippett breakout 2 years ago. Former high draft pick. He's had some solid years. North of 20 goals in 3 straight. Fuck, Travioli takes him because I'm talking about him. Yeah, I mean, he's a fine pick there. I think him and Rust are like really similar. I just wanted him for the stacking principle. We could take Attendee and be done. Let's take Askarov. A lot of people are excited about Askarov. Let's do it. Let's take him. He's been a riser for sure in this contest, but he's kind of like a fun ceiling upside tendy to pair with two veteran, steady, early 30s guys in Saros and Markstrom, and then you take a little bit of a ceiling shot. Maybe it's a little bit more draft capital than we would like for a ceiling shot tendy. Like maybe we could have got the same effect by taking Jet or taking Seelofs later. But yeah, seems fine. Stammer, I don't know. I just don't take a ton of Stammer after the down year last year. Let's scroll. Let's take Quentin Byfield. He's probably not going to play on the same line as Kempe, but he's like everybody's worst kept secret as a sleeper right now. And we get some team level correlation. That one seems good. Hey, Chad, I took 3 stars. Oh, man. Chavi, I can't tell you, man. I can't tell you. You've been around long enough to know there's certain things that don't get said on the program or on the X machine. There are certain things, certain little secrets of the Badge Bros that need to remain secrets. And you have to be able to find them on your own accord. Willis saying that draft, the Sam Bennett draft, was just so elite. Yeah, let's go back to that for a second. Let's go back to that. Let me see here. Yeah. Ekblad, Reinhart, Draisaitl, Sam Bennett, Michael Delcoli. Don't remember him at all. He only ever played 8 NHL games. Man, Islanders down so bad. Like, look at this little tier right here. Michael Delcoli, Jake Virtanen, and Hayden Fleury. When you could have had Nylander, Ehlers, Fiala. Verana had a nice career. I mean, or like decent. I mean, he's still, where is he? Swedish league now. Had like a decent career. Sanheim, still going in good. Larkin still going in good. Tuch still going in good. Nick Schmaltz, that's an interesting scroll. If you want to do like some backstack of Utah stuff. Yeah, man. Pasta. Man, the Canucks fucked up twice. Took Jared McCann instead of Pasta there, too. Dude, could you imagine if the Canucks had taken William Nylander here instead of Jake Virtanen, and then they had taken Pasta instead of McCann? Oh, my God. My life would have been so much better. My life would have been so much more enjoyable as a puck watcher. Oh, my God. Masterclass with promo code badge is 10% off there, Jets. I think it's $120 and you get 10% off on that. Honestly, it's way too cheap. It's way too cheap. So many people have purchased it, and back to back BR and Dog Bowl winners and endorsements. It's crazy, man. We're working on some other stuff to add to it, and the price of poker is going to be going up. Price of poker is going to be going up. All right, I think we're done at center, right? This is good with Hughes, Bennett, and Byfield. I mean, you could always spend a flex spot if you want to stack on it. That'd be fine. We could punt D till the last pick, I guess. You could also take Luke Hughes and just make like a super stack I don't think it's the dumbest thing in the world. Should we take Marchand with Sam Bennett? I don't love Brad Marchand, but we got to pay it forward after he won us the big Zamboni. Now with the Barkov roll and stuff like that opening up, you get a little bit of correlation there. All right. All right. We're just drafting dudes we like. We're done at Tendy. We need one. We got 3 spots left. We need 1 more defenseman and 2 more wingers. I think it's time to just fuck around, find out, and have some scrolls out here. Who else can we stack up from the Kings? Lafreniere? Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Stack them up, baby. We got a little 3-man LA stack now. We have a 3-man New Jersey stack. Boys are cooking. Boys are cooking. Trevor Moore. Full scrolly half down. Evan saying the masterclass is elite. Thank you, sir. I mean, if you guys are just enjoyers of the content, even just from a content angle, it's worth more than the price point. It's effectively what? I can't remember the exact numbers right now. Let me bring it up here. Underdog Masterclass.com. 20 chapters, 106 lessons, and all of those lessons have both audio and video components, plus roundtables attached to them. I mean, even in terms of like hours of content. It is hilarious, though. I will say this. I submitted a lot of screenshots and whatever for the graphics for this. It is hilarious that Pete has a 20K win, Nez has a 10K win, and I have an 8K win because they went for the Primetime Palooza one because I was writing the Primetime Palooza stuff instead of like just having a bigger number. It is pretty funny. It is pretty funny. I did get a kick out of that. Stay tuned, Jets. Stay tuned. It's football only right now, but stay tuned. Can you stop with 2 with Gustav and Sorokin? Man, I have a really hard time stopping at 2 goalies. I have a really hard time at stopping at 2 goalies and stopping at 2 D-men, but I think you can. Like, I definitely think you can, pending what's available to you, right? But I think everyone smarter than me would say 3. But I think, I don't know, man. Like, if you're shooting for ceiling and stuff, like, and you got to spend the capital elsewhere, yeah. I mean, what you could have done was stop at 3 centers when you spend your first 2 picks on centers. And I'd rather do that than 2 goalies. So do 3 centers instead of 4 centers. But that's neither here nor there. I don't know. What gets you more fantasy points? Taking Steelovs with your last pick as like a dart throw, or adding another winger? Robertson, Fiala, Ehlers, Svechnikov, Nichushkin, William Eklund. I don't know. That's a question for someone smarter than me. Yeah, we'll talk about Brock Nelson in a minute. I want a masterclass bloopers video. Dude, there was one night where I was reading my own writing and I felt like the biggest fucking dunce cap on planet Earth. It was like a 2 a.m. Pacific time message in our Discord thread between me, Nez, and Pete. And I was like, I'm the dumbest fucking loser on planet Earth. I fucking hate myself. Like 9 exclamation points, just airing my grievances to the bros. Because I literally, like, to record like a 12-minute segment, it took me an hour and a half one time because I couldn't get through it, man. Like, I just couldn't get through it. Okay. Some good ideas in the chat. Cam Fowler as a full scroll St. Louis PP1 alongside Jordan Kyrou. Fuck around, find out. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Let's go. Let's go. And now we need one more winger to close this bad boy out. I probably should have taken the winger first, just looking at the teams to my right. I'm interested to see if Ron Stewart just goes goalie to close. Took Joseph Wool. Okay. It looks like he's auto drafting. Ooh, Nyman as a scroll. Look at these guys getting fancy out here. Okay, SeaWorld, I see you. Guys, we almost made it a whole draft without getting Barkov drafted. This is awesome. Don't be the guy. We are so close. We're so close. There is no better way to cap off best puck drafting season than taking my guy, Trevor Zegras. He is soft as butter, as baby shit. But man, can that guy have some silky ass mitts. He's got his head on a swivel all the time. I think he's a truly elite passer. Watching him and Cole Caulfield, aka Cole Caulfield, in World Juniors, I can never quit him. I can never quit him. After seeing that shit live and firsthand, I can't quit the guy. I cannot quit the guy. Zegras season, baby. Let's get it. It was always Zegras for the last pick. It was always. Had to be. Rob's asking, I'm sure you've been asked, but is the masterclass going to expand into other sports? I will say we recorded something yesterday and I wrote something all weekend. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Things are happening masterclass adjacent. Things are happening. Pete has designed a roadmap. Our token is going live soon. NFT. Love it. Maybe. Shout out to the Cutter, Nyman, Slappy, and 11. SeaWorld, baby. Fuck yeah. Awesome stuff. Love it. All right, guys. That's going to tie a bow on Best Puck Classic season for your boy. I'm going to get a couple more in while I'm watching the Mariners game here. Another reason we started the program early is Mr. Goodboy's at the groomer, and I got to go pick him up and then get the wheels moving so that we can do a little more Best Puck Classic jamming before the Mariners game starts. If you add baseball content, is the new coster included? TBD. I can't speak on it. I can't speak on it yet. We're figuring things out on the fly here. My heart and soul is we got to charge more. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. Yeah. It's a lot goes into it, and it's distinctly different than football. So me thinks it would be its own entity, but we shall see. Sam Olsen. Here we go. The slappiest pick to take Zane at the last pick. It is probably the slappiest. It's up there with the slappiest. Definitely up there with the slappiest. You went with the punt defenseman build and then just took two slappy D-men to close it out. Zane did make the team, though. So that's good. That's good. What are the Flames? The Flames going to run him out there at power play 1? Let's see. He's not even on the... Did he not make the team? I thought they said he made the team. That is sloppy. If he didn't even make the team, that's sloppy. I thought he made the team. Nasty work. Nasty work from the goat out here. Just flexing. He's not even in the lineup. Fuck guys, baby. Damn right. Zeev did. That's all that matters. Sam Steele, final pick, Eggers. If you had a spine, he does not. He takes Arturi Lankinen. Press box night 1. That's better than the A. Press box better than the A. All right, guys. My final streamed Best Puck Classic. It's been truly one of the greatest joys of my life to share hockey alongside this community and have this community reciprocate the love by trying out hockey. You guys are going to fall in love with it when you just tap into the games this evening. It's going to be great stuff. Get a Best Puck Classic or two team in here. We got another hour to go. A 3-7-3-3. Jack Hughes, Sam Bennett, Quentin Byfield, Jasper Bratt, Adrian Kempe, Jordan Kyrou, Travis Konecny, Brad Marchand, Alex Lafreniere. Not to be confused with Alexi Lafreniere. Fuck, I always mix up which is which. I tried my best. Trevor Zegras, the crowning pick of the summer there. We're so effing back. Cale Makar, Dougie Hamilton, Cam Fowler as a scroll the F down to go along that power play with Jordan Kyrou. And then Saros, Markstrom, and Askarov. Let's do it. LaFerriere. Fuck. Damn it. I knew it. I knew it as soon as I said it. I was so good, too. I was banging names all day. And I know it's Alexi Lafreniere and LaFerriere is the LA guy. Oh, my God. I was trying my best, dude. You guys let young Cale Makar go undrafted. Who's young Cale Makar? Who went undrafted? Let's see the D-man here. Is Sam the Rizzler? Is Sam young Cale Makar alongside Connor Bedard? Is that who we are referencing here? The Riz Daddy? Rinsler. Love it. Always, my friend. Always Willis. Stream's not done, though. Stream's not done. Just Best Puck Classic is done. I need 39 more minutes to get in there. So I want to draft more of these. So maybe we'll cut it short on the baseball slate. I will share some thoughts on the baseball slate, rapid fire baseball slate, and rapid fire puck slate. Okay, you guys ready for this? Puck slate. Go watch the Morningscape pod. I know that stuff is out there. Link is somewhere shared below there. Go check that out. I know they do a walkthrough of the majority of slates there. But yeah, just be mindful of the tendies in which we're drafting this evening because Shelovs is starting and Wedgwood is starting. So yeah, Wedgwood's there and Shelovs is there. So don't take Tristan Jarry or else he's going to swap. So there's that. In terms of like professional ass goalies on the slate, there are two of the best in the world here in positive matchups in terms of winnable games, not positive matchups in terms of getting peppered with shots. So yes, they are the upper echelon goalies on the slate for the right reason because they are the best in the world at it. But there is a little bit of added double bubble leverage if you play the lines against them. In a vacuum, guys, especially on these shorter slates, people will not correlate enough and people will not scroll the F down enough for secondary line pairings. Everybody just wants to try and get the GM and scroll the F downs are, one-off varieties opposed to line stacking. I'm not going to walk through, all the line stacks and all my favorite spots and whatever. I did talk about Bedard a bit. I put him on the cover. I think his ADP is just too low in general. I think Fiala's is too low in general. Like, I think those two are two that you want to kind of like pull up and like build around a little bit there. If you want to play Pittsburgh tonight, by all means. If you want to play Chicago tonight and like scroll the F down for some stacking partners because like Florida is super banged up and missing like they're definitely their best defensive forward, but two of their like best, toughest forwards to play against. Yeah, by all means there. If you want to scroll outside of defensemen, we only have to take one in these games. Scroll to some PP1 correlation stuff. I don't know if it's going to be Clark or Doughty tonight, so keep an eye on like the lineups and stuff. I think they'll start with Doughty, and I think Daily Faceoff agrees with me. But there is rumors that they might go 5 forwards on PP1. So maybe you don't even want to get down that far at the blue line for them. Chris Letang is a little bit intriguing. Obviously, you'd way rather play Carlson, but he gets drafted like every time. So if you want to just go down and just flip the narrative a little bit and be like, hey, let's go with Chris Letang this evening, and he happens to score alongside the primo guys, by all means. Yeah, you're never going to be able to put McKinnon and Makar together, but you could scroll the F down to like Brock Nelson, who's going to get a little bit of power play run there, and pair him up there. If you're doing Colorado as well, who had that really good start to the season last year? Ross Colton. They're probably not going to play together again this year, but he's got some goal scoring ability as a scroll the F down there. If you want to scroll past the tier that gets drafted every single time there. Yeah, I think the chalk will be to just play the shit out of the Colorado and LA game, which is fine, which means the contrarian leverage is probably scrolling at like the mispriced Florida guys, like the mispriced Florida guys that are going to have like potentially expanded roles with no Kachuk and Barkov. Like Brad Marchand is down a little bit further. Antoine Lindell's down a bit further. If you want to go, hey, power play 2 scores tonight, Evan Rodriguez has some scoring prowess, as you guys can see in one of his last games played versus Tampa Bay. There, he had 4 points, 3 tucks. So I mean, yeah, those are kind of like the scrolls of it. We could get like in the game by game weeds of like what's going on. But yeah, stay tapped into the puck thread there. Moods is sharing all his stuff there. Stay tapped into the newsletter as well. Yeah, he's got a sheet that they walk through on the show and stuff. Here we go. There we go. What's up, Ty? Thank you so much. Rolling through a winner circle appearance last week for his Dog Bowl win there. Had a great story and whatnot. Dropping off 10 Badge Bros membership for the puck, guys. Love to see it. Dangles After Dark is still coming. So after the first game locks, there's still going to be a second slate of the next 2 games to draft there. So if you guys take a peek at that one, thank you so much for the puck, guys here. Love to see it. Thank you. The 2 Bennis, baby. Love to see it. Okay, let's rip one of those drafts because I want to do Best Puck Classic, and then I will briefly talk about the baseball slate as well in the same rapid fire. Guys, like just in general, when talking about puck, I will just bring up the unabated totals and unabated lines. You are going to see this all the time. 5.5, 6, 5.5, 6, 6, 5.5, 6, 6, 6. You have to look for isolated resources that have individual team and goal projections for isolated teams. Okay. Like a lot of that stuff in the hashtag sheet and with the stuff that Moods is going through in the Discord, a lot of it you can find on Daily Faceoff. A lot of it you can find on, Puck Luck and some of these advanced metric stuff. But like, you just got to be mindful of like when you're looking for totals and stuff that basically every game total is going to look like the same in hockey, and like not all games play the same. We're looking for like some of these more wide open track meets. We're looking for these games where we don't have like Selke level forwards checking our favorite like forward plays and stuff like that. Right. Yeah. And then there's definitely correlation in like pairing lines together. There's definitely correlation in stacking. It's kind of like baseball in terms of like lineup spot mattering, and you're going to want to do that. We'll have lots more time to talk through Daily Puck. I'm kind of rushing and butchering this. I wouldn't say butchering, but I'm kind of rushing this segment and not giving its full due diligence that it deserves because I really selfishly want to make sure I get in 32 more minutes of Best Puck Classic here. I want to get at least 3 more drafts in there. Yeah. So we'll rip this draft and then we will talk baseball for 30 seconds because we've seen both these series multiple times now, and there's not a ton to say outside of the handedness of the pitcher and the ballpark conditions. And we know what the lineups are presumably going to look like going into these matchups. And it's kind of just like how you want to stack up your lineups, and a lot of volume, guys. A lot of volume for the baseball bros to be stacking in unorthodox fashions that the rest of the people aren't going. In season long best puck, is stacking a few teams a good idea? Yes, it's a very good idea. It works on so many different levels. I'm going to post a little something in the chat for you to read through that will explain it a little bit more in depth. Let's do it, guys. I talked about it all show here. Kempe plus Fiala PP1. Get a couple tucks today. A little bring back off the Nathan McKinnon game environment there. Just play. There is a little bit of correlation in game environment in terms of like pace and back and forth tempo to games, but there's also a little bit of correlation in terms of like penalties and stuff. So like if games get like a bunch of power plays that then like the power plays kind of go back and forth, I don't know. It's a little bro sciencey. I'm sure Moods and those guys can speak way more intelligently about it than I can. But I'm just putting it on people's radars. And then the same thing with the goalies conversation that we had earlier, that like, hey, you probably want to pluck the goalie from the other game environment opposed to correlating for opposed to correlating for like win bonuses, because win bonuses play better in baseball than they play here. You really want your goalie to take a lot of shots, basically. Not so narrow cast. Check out that link in the chat there. That is the manifesto courtesy of Fake Moods, aka Matt Moody, which is truly the holy grail for understanding best puck principles. But yes, correlation is a good thing. Correlation is a good thing on a team level. Correlation is something you want to introduce to your lineups. Okay, what are we going to do with the last two spots here? I think, oh, wow. Raquel got pulled up there. Melch is on it. I was going to do like a Raquel plus Letang or like Raquel plus D-Man and play like the other game environment there. I don't really think we have to go into the LA D-Man department, even though Doughty and Brent Clark will probably play a lot. I don't know that either of them will be on PP1 tonight. So probably don't want to do that. If we get Bedard here, I'm just going to take Bedard because I just want to click his name, and this is my first draft. So I just like the idea of playing. I like playing Connor Bedard as a one-off because he shoots a lot, but you can also scroll the F down for some of his line mate partners that will go like heavily overlooked on this slate. Like if you just scroll the F down, like Ryan Dantino's a fun pick. Tyler Bertuzzi will probably be on the power play. Teravainen won me a slate last year, or should have won me one of the early slates last year. I think we ended up coming second with a Teravainen plus Bedard stack on a slate that was similar to this, where nobody wanted to touch it. I want to get my goalie that doesn't negatively correlate with the stuff I'm doing right now before DeMelch does. So I think Spencer Knight would probably be fine against a Florida team that's still going to be good, but they're probably not going to be like incredible. But I want to be the guy who scrolls the F down for Shilovs and play it before we see it kind of thing. I think Shilovs is a good goalie. I've watched him a shit ton in my life. He looks a little squatty and a little small in the net sometimes, but I think he's got the ability to be good here. So yeah. I'm copying your GA as cooking in the streets, the same start in which I'm cooking. That makes me feel good. That makes me feel good, GA. I'm copying your homework. Eyes on your own paper. Zabinajad is a guy we didn't talk about yet, but just in terms of like his rates and stuff, like he was really good at the end of last year when Moody came on the program with us. He talked about really liking him in the Best Puck Classic. I'm willing to play it. I mean, he's going to shoot, score, and whatever on PP1. And, just losing Chris Kreider from that and replacing it with like JT Miller and that sort of thing, maybe he gets the opportunity to shoot a little bit more. Wedgwood goes there. Malkin to tack on to that Pittsburgh stack there for Melch. I'm not sure that Malkin and Crosby will play on the same line, but maybe some power play overlap. So that's kind of a fun correlation play by him. This is interesting. This is an interesting conversation to have here. What we do with the defenseman spot. I think we could do like the Devin Taves plays a lot narrative and put it alongside McKinnon. You could also scroll the F down to Burns. Where was Burns? Burns. You could scroll. Nobody's drafted him. He's got some offensive upside, and you could play it alongside McKinnon. Probably won't be PP1, but let's take the Rizzler. We were just told by I love Kitties in the chat that Sam Rinzel is Cale Makar East Coast or Midwest Central. He is the second coming, we were told. So let's pair him alongside Connor Bedard. Hopefully they get a little PP1 time. Run Nathan McKinnon naked. We could have easily stacked up Brock Nelson, as we talked about. We could have easily scrolled for some other stacks there. It's Anze Kopitar's last year, and he's announced that it's his like swan song tour. So if you want to play Anze in his first night at home in a nationally televised start of the season game, I would not fault you for that narrative at all. He's going to be on PP1. He always seems to contribute in some capacity. Yeah. Scrolled for Nazar with Rinzel there, so love that. 500 spots left in the Best Puck Classic. Okay, your boys got to get in there. We're about to end the program, but I did promise baseball as well. We are pushing in here. We got a web gem here for the 2-gamer. Get in there for those 4-person drafts. About an hour left in that contest as well. So all these things locking about the same time, hence why I did the show an hour early here, just to get everybody into the contest there. Yeah, we'll just look at Ballpark Pal real quick. I was kind of shocked to see the Mariners' implied run totals quite high. I will just note that, coming off of the off day for both teams, bullpens are going to be a little bit more rested, but both Mariners and Tigers have gone quite deep in their pens early in this season. The Tigers more notably than the Mariners, but both of them have exhausted a lot of arms early there. So just be mindful of that maybe that leads to a little bit more runs and stuff. But as you guys can see with the implied run totals, Yankee Stadium is going to play so much better for hitting. This series with like Detroit and the Mariners going back and forth from pitcher's park to pitcher's park is a little bit gross comparative to just aping into the bats of Yankees and Blue Jays. You guys saw Sam Olsen get home with the 4-man odd slots with some contrarian Blue Jays stacks. It is going to be lefty again for Dalton Varsho, but that did not stop him from breaking last time's slate with the 48 fantasy points. Expect him to be in there again. I actually haven't seen if we have any lineups tonight just yet, but Logan Gilbert is my SP1 on the slate there. Jack Flaherty is kind of like a fine punt guy. Shane Bieber projects the worst according to our guy Cardi, but big game Biebs. This is the reason they went out and acquired him at the deadline, was for spots like this. But he's going to face a tough lefty lineup, and they're up 2-0 in the series right now. It feels like a good spot to just anecdotally play left-handed Yankees this evening. It looks like the best hitting environment on the slate. It's the highest run total on the slate, but it's also the spot in which everybody's getting to. You guys can see the home run factor is playing down at Comerica. It's playing up at Yankee Stadium. So it is the chalk for good reason. We'll rip one of these real quick, and then that'll be that for the show. Take a look at it in real time. Judge goes 1, which makes sense for all the things I previously stated there. The Toronto stuff, we do not have a lineup yet. Just interesting to note that even going against a righty, they left Jorge Polanco after the double home run game in the 4-hole. So they're just running it back with basically the exact same lineup, I imagine. They flipped Eugenio Suarez and Josh Naylor's spots in the lineup. So Naylor's going to be batting 5th there. Canzone comes in for that right field / DH role instead of Mitch Garver, who was in there to face the lefty last time out. Canzone's got some big time pop and won't get played enough. Colt Keith is back this series. So just a guy who used to be leading off, who's now hitting 3rd in the lineup there. So could be a good little spot to get to for Colt Keith when you scroll all the way the F down. You also get leverage off of the Logan Gilbert teams. Kerry Bonds leading off. Interesting. Okay, so definitely a lineup change from the Tigers They flipped those spots in the order. Dylan Digler's got some power. Zach McKinstry had some really good at bats in the series, but in general, you want to play offense from that game, and then you want to play pitching from this spot. Let's go ahead and take a little Mariners homer picks to put together. Outside of Jorge Polanco and one Randy Arozarena single followed by steal, it's basically only been offense from Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez. They really need that lineup to start showing some length. My coffee is now officially ice coffee. Need Flaherty to come through as an advanced piece in the pennant. Yeah. I mean, he paired so well with those skoo ball teams. It's definitely a good spot to pitch. All right, we go double Seattle to start, which means we don't want to be the guy who's left with Flaherty, which means we should take Bieber here. We could make a super Seattle stack, or we could start building out something Toronto related, or we could play all bats from the quote unquote bad game environment. I think it's probably logical to build out something Toronto. Ernie Clement is a little bit of a lefty killer, but carries a lot of pinch hit risk. Davis Schneider, a little bit of a lefty killer, but a lot of pinch hit risk. Alejandro Kirk homered twice the other day. Let's play some contrarian home runs from the Detroit side. Let's play a Kerry Bonds home run. Let's play a 3-man Seattle stack and then 2 one-offs and see what it looks like. We've seen a lot of the 4-1s get home. The correlation. There's been some really lopsided game environments, or like one game is crazy high scoring on a slate and then the other game, isn't. Shout out to T-Box for winning last night there. Awin and his team play the best plays. You guys got to think about these combos though, because there's going to be a lot of overlap in terms of like not negatively correlating against your pitcher, which is correct. But it's going to lead like all the Bieber teams to usually be Seattle plus Toronto or Detroit plus Toronto. Like, it's going to lead all the Yankees teams to be like not including Toronto, like when you take Rotorun, right? So just things to think through. Okay, we're going to take a contrarian Seattle bat, and then we are going to take a one-off pick to click, I think. Okay, so we're going to take Canzone, and then we're going to think about the other pick. We could scroll down for Colt Keith and correlate with Kerry Bonds. That one actually feels pretty good. Yeah, that one feels pretty good, to be honest. We don't want to do a one-off Yankee against Bieber, but I wouldn't fault you if you wanted to do like a one-off. One-off Ernie Clement, like he's a little bit of a lefty killer, but like he comes with so much pinch hit risk that it just feels so gross. I think Colt Keith is probably the most logical, or just getting like the one-off home run from the Yankees that negatively correlates with your pitcher, so nobody's going to play it. But like Bieber is the high-scoring pitcher on the slate, but he gives up one solo home run, and it's a low-scoring slate. Let's play that angle. It's a tough needle to thread, but, we're only playing, a handful of lineups in this contest. So why not negatively correlate for one left-handed Ryan McMahon home run? Yankees lineup is not out yet, so we don't definitively know if he'll be in there, but I imagine he's in there against the righty and playing third base. I would have him in there. So we get Kerry Bonds as a pick to click, Ryan McMahon as a pick to click, and then a 3-man Seattle stack with a scroll the F down, to a guy who's got some good power and displayed it all through the month of September in Dominic Canzone. And then we got Shane Bieber, who is Cardi's SP4 on the slate, but is everybody else's SP3 relative to projection. Just interesting to note that he really likes Flaherty over, the Rodon and Bieber. So he likes offense in the one game environment, and then he likes the park factor with Logan Gilbert and Jack Flaherty. I can share with you guys the projections right there. All right, guys, I got to jam a couple best puck classics here. No need to take Bieber. I didn't want him, says Ben. Love to see it. He takes Flaherty on that one. All right, guys, enjoy drafting the end of Best Puck Classic. Enjoy Puck Drop this evening. Enjoy playoff baseball. It is truly a beautiful time to be alive for the multi-sport draftletes. We will be aping into the double dribble stuff next week. We'll do the definitive preview for the Battle Royale NFL slate tomorrow. Awesome time to be a multi-sport drathlete on the platform. Thank you so much to our guy, Ty Tabinis, who dropped off 10 Badge Bros memberships at the door here. Was a great Winner Circle guest from last week and is a renowned puck guy. If you guys remember the story, dropping off the kids at the rink is when he was drafting his teams. Love to see it, man. Appreciate you guys all hanging out and appreciate you guys endearing my love for puck, and hopefully it stems over to you guys as well. Love to see it so much. Enjoy the games tonight. Everybody's favorite time of the show. The end. Peace. See you tomorrow, 2 p.m.